Hi, and welcome to 2024's Three Legs, Four Wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with...
Sean, what the fuck was that noise?
There you go. That was not
I
me
don't
that
come
time.
with some kind of magic wand twinkle. What the...
The voices are back. The voice... I'm
smooth as ever.
I'm semi-glad that happened because after Sean, is it me or you, Chris?
I think it's me, but I don't
it's you,
know.
Right? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so out of it. It's been 18 months. So can we start that again?
No, this is staying in.
Leave it in, but do it again.
It's been about 18 months since we've done one of these.
Oh, shite.
God, right. Hi, part 2, and welcome to... Hello.
All right.
Three Legs, Four Wheels, Paul.
Sean.
Chris.
Kieran.
And the OneDrive alert, apparently. Yeah, we're back. Well, we've been away, and now we're back again. Sorry we disappeared for a while after the last time we said we'd be back, but something came up, and I ended up running out of work and going to Spain. So, but I'm back now. I am firmly on the Isle of Man.
And we had a cold.
And yeah, the flu from hell. That wasn't just a cold. That was ultra cold.
How was Spain? I haven't actually asked that.
About 24 degrees hotter than it is here at the minute. No, I went to see my mum for a week. See how she's getting on, and obviously got accosted by a cat. And why isn't this sound working? Fuck.
So we didn't record it.
That is,
no.
I mean, we've clearly lost some award-winning shit there, haven't
Yeah.
Cut back in and be like, we don't know what happened there. We're
Yeah.
very sorry.
Well, funnily enough, the first words after the jump cut was cut back in. Yeah, we lost some award-winning shit, but now apparently we do know how these things work.
we? Yay.
How are we all, and how have we been?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I respond with the exact words Kieran just used. Yes.
You have been yes.
I have been, yes. And I am still.
I continue to peak at midday.
Good.
Oh, dear God. Right, we have a lot to catch up on. Certainly an interesting couple of races. Starting with Mexico. And on the show notes, very, very professionally put together by Kieran.
Yes.
And bearing in mind, these are the first show notes for 361 shows. Bearing in mind, this is show number 362. It says Mad Max.
Yeah, he was a bit mad, wasn't he?
That is the only note. I wrote 2 words. I'm worried that that's classed as prep. He was a little bit angry in Mexico, and he let it all out.
I think Red Bull, as I'm not even going to say a team, as an entire organisation, were a little bit angry in Mexico. I mean, there was Max forgetting to take corners.
Yeah.
Perez. Jesus.
Was that his worst race?
Oh,
Perez was there. He was about somewhere.
Sorry, it was Mexico. Jesus. Lawson giving the finger.
Yes, that was very enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
He's not been making a lot of friends since his return, has he? Really, Liam Lawson. He's
Alonso
come back into Formula One, and he's been like, I don't like Alonso, I don't like Perez, I don't like McLaren. So he's just going around shooting guns everywhere.
Sonoda got a bit pissy at him at one point, didn't he? Did he come out ahead of Sonoda, and Sonoda wasn't pleased?
That's right. He said how did that happen?
how the traffic paradise.
Yes.
Yeah, the Lawson and McLaren thing is Lawson thinks that they should play the New Zealand national anthem when McLaren win a race.
Yeah. Arguably, you could say yes. I mean, do Red Bull play the Thai national anthem when they win?
No.
Well, they should play the Scottish national anthem in tribute to Stuart GP at that point. What am I saying? The Scottish national anthem, the UK, the British national anthem. I
Play
should say.
Flower of Scotland
Flower
if you
of
want. It's a
Scotland.
banger.
Yeah.
Flower of Scotland. I was going to say the Proclaimers. I don't know what the Scottish national.
You never watch the Commonwealth Games anywhere near enough, do you?
No. Apart from that 2 weeks when I was 11 and I was constipated and I had to stay at home, no.
So, were you constipated for the whole 2
2002.
weeks?
I was constipated long enough to find out who won the lawn bowls.
Wow.
You didn't feel like travelling to Manchester that year, no?
No. All I had to do was travel to BBC Two. That was, what a week. Right, why are we talking about this? Where were we?
I'm not entirely sure anymore. Can I go back to Spain?
The New Zealand
The Mexican
national-
Grand Prix. Yeah, and
Yes.
And basically, so Bruce McLaren, if you don't know, was a New Zealander, and obviously his name is what adorns that Formula One team. Despite the fact that it was set up, McLaren Racing was set up in the UK by Bruce and an American gentleman whose name currently escapes me. And Ron, basically, the racing team was going into bankruptcy and administration, and Ron Dennis bought McLaren, and
technically, Ron Dennis's company, Project 4.
Yeah, Project
McLaren.
4 bought McLaren, which is why the cars were MP4, because it was McLaren Project 4.
Oh, I never realised that.
Yeah. So so that was why I believe McLaren still has the British national anthem.
And the fact that they race under a British team license and Red Bull race under an Austrian one.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, at the same time, McLaren's owned by Bahrain, so I mean, what's to stop them from switching to the Bahraini national anthem?
Brand recognition, probably.
There's an interesting thing in my research for previous Grand Prix things that I've been doing, where I actually found out that Benetton for 1 year decided they were Italian.
Ah.
Was that?
I wonder whose decision that was.
Funnily enough, Flavio Briatore's.
No.
Do we have anything else to say on the Mexican Grand Prix that hasn't already been said countless times by countless other podcasts? I mean,
I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about it now as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I've sort of moved on.
I do want to underline how bad Perez was that weekend,
He was bad.
He was shit.
but I guess that's interchangeable with many other races. So I'm
And I
happy
haven't-
to move on.
Yeah, I haven't checked, but did he start like low down, like 17th, and finish like 16th?
Started 18th, finished 17th, it says
Oh,
here.
so he made one place.
Bear in mind there were
So-
several DNFs.
There were 3 retirements.
Wait, hang on. There were 3 retirements, and he finished.
17th.
So he was the last car across
Yes.
the line.
None of the
Yeah.
retirements were the 2 drivers who started behind him.
No. We lost Albon and Tsunoda by turn 4, didn't we?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean,
he was done by both Saubers.
He did stop for a tyre change for a fastest lap, even though he only had about 9/10 of a car because there was a massive hole in one of the side pods, no floor.
Yes, he that was an unsuccessful situation.
Wasn't it also an unsuccessful attempt at fastest lap?
Yes,
Yeah.
Leclerc has the fastest lap.
Yeah.
To the tune of 9/10, he was slower.
Good God.
I think the best way to describe it was a gnat of an embarrassment.
Yes. Absolutely.
Double points for Haas, though.
Always good to see.
Yeah. And
But then we
Gasly
had-
picked up 1. That'll be good for Alpine. What happened in the next race?
Right, should we just start it now and say Lance Stroll?
Oh, yes.
Now, okay, so I had a conversation with a Formula One fan who isn't part of this podcast and never has been. There was a 360-degree pie chart with Lance Stroll in the middle. Okay, if he had chosen roughly 7/8 of that pie chart, he would have been on tarmac. He chose the 1/8 of the pie chart where there was gravel. And it was wet. And he completely beached himself. The man, I don't understand. Someone help.
I also want to say Can we have next week's lottery numbers, please, to one of our mates from the racing team, our sim racing team, Axel Edwards, who thought he'd put a bet on for Lance Stroll to crash on the opening lap, but he'd actually put a bet on for Lance Stroll not to complete the opening lap, so he got paid out.
Excellent.
Wow. That's brilliant.
I bet the odds were short.
Let's put it this way: they would have been able to get him into Fernando Alonso's car. They were that short. So short he could have played guitar for AC/DC.
Yeah. Just to complete tangent here. The smallest guitarist in the world has to be the touring acoustic guitarist for Blossoms.
Oh, God.
I swear, he's about as tall as an acoustic guitar stood on its end.
We've seen Blossoms. I don't remember a short one.
There was a short person
that
playing
might be
for
a
Blossoms.
new recruit.
If he's only the touring
This
guitarist,
is
don't
true.
forget they were just coming through then, so they probably couldn't afford extra musicians.
Yes.
Although
they do
judging by the way that the lead guitarist was sniffing when he was in the crowd watching the charlatans who they were supporting, they could definitely afford something else.
Could be Lemsip.
It could have
Could
been.
just have a sniffle.
Yeah, I mean,
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is libel.
nobody told him that you meant to dissolve Beecham's powders.
Yeah. They play the Isle of Wight Festival every year, and somehow every year I've miraculously not watched them.
Oh, you've just
And by miraculously, I mean purposefully.
you've just reminded me of a poster that I saw in Tenerife last week for an up-and-coming show at the what was it? The Santa Cruz Palace of Culture.
Ooh, that can't be good.
Keen, supported by Mika.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like figuratively or like...
Yeah. Speaking of short people.
Can we go back to F1? We're veering dangerously into Patreon territory.
Lance Stroll.
If we carry on, I was going to say, if we carry on like this, I'll have to change the theme tune.
Keen, supported by Mika Hakkinen. There we go. We're back in...
Hey!
So yes, Lance Stroll. Now, I want to nominate the Aston Martin mechanics, amongst others, as absolute rock stars for managing to get two partially destroyed cars back onto the grid in such a short space of time, with qualifying happening on Sunday. However, how effing ever?
I mean, I'm gonna jump quickly to Lance Stroll's defense. It may not have been his fault that the car spun where it spun.
No.
Correct.
No,
Yes.
but Alonso,
There is a but.
Alonso was having similar brake issues, and I think that's what caused his off in qualifying.
Yeah.
But
it's that pie chart thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Reverse
Yeah.
into some wet gravel.
and then the team radio, it was just beached.
Oh God,
Has
this is
anybody
it's going
noticed-
to be on TV.
He
My
sounded
mum's watching.
he sounded like Dan when we did that Sad Fernando section.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've got to bring back Dan for Sad Fernando.
Wonder if we can do Sad Lance.
Well, we did get Sad Fernando later in the race, didn't we? Because his back was hurting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to finish this race. I can't do it like Dan. So I'm going to finish this race for the mechanics. My back is finished. And to be fair, after the race, he looked like he was in some
He
discomfort.
did not look comfy at all, did he? Bless him.
Now, I read an article that... pardon me. I read an article that was because the floor that they had to use, because his original one that got destroyed, wasn't compatible with the front wing that was on.
Was it something they found in a skip?
Probably. So the airflow over that particular version of the floor was wrong, and it was meant to be the previous version of the front wing, but they couldn't change that because they didn't have any with them because Lance had
They'd
destroyed-
crashed them all.
Yeah. So because of incompatible parts, it was badly affected airflow, and that's why he spent so much time porpoising.
So then, post Lance Stroll, we had an aborted start.
Oh,
Oh.
fucking hell! I'd forgotten all about that.
Before we move on from Lance Stroll, a few weeks ago when I thought we might do a podcast, I wrote down some dunks on Lance. So can I just quickly read those out?
Yes, please.
It's our
Yes,
new,
you can.
it's our new feature.
what have we
10
got
things
here?
I hate about you.
What have we got here? Do you think Lance saw the "All will be vanquished" slogan on his halo and thought "Challenge accepted"? Stroll so bad that even I want Drugovich to drive for them now. Even the Abu Dhabi Twitter account started having a go at Stroll, which is hilarious.
The Abu
Go through
Dhabi
their
circuit.
tweets. The Abu Dhabi Circuit's Twitter account, the second the Stroll crash happened, they got out the gifts.
Excellent.
They went, here we go. Child steps into toddler car falls apart with just a caption, Lance Stroll, lol, visit Abu Dhabi. Just that, basically, just those.
I mean, some might say we are being a little bit unfair on Canada's favourite barrier botherer. But we're not.
Well,
No.
apparently he's not the favourite. So, well, it's just a bit bizarre. But I was listening to Matt and Tommy, who've gone over to the US and to Canada to do their US tour. And they did a little podcast saying, how's the tour gone so far? The first gig, I think, was in Toronto. And they said the most hated driver of the lot is Lance Stroll. They can't stand Lance Stroll in Canada.
He
They all love
represents them
Latifi.
badly, I suppose, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't put them on the world stage very well. But yeah, they love Latifi. They can't stand Stroll.
Wow.
I'm stunned.
Latifi's dad's business is food, though, isn't it? People like food.
That's some
Then
top
why did
journalism
Yeah.
there, Sean.
Yes,
why did Jordan King never make it to F1 then?
that's
I
true.
love Fox's
True.
biscuits.
Biscuits are good.
But no.
Because McVitie's is only really known in the UK. That's never going to fly in the US, is it?
Yeah, good point. But Goodfellas pizza? I mean, it was a delicious pizza. No, it's not. It's Goodfellas. What am I saying?
Yeah, other
Someone's
and far,
cheesed up garbled.
yeah, other and far better pizzas are available. Right. So yeah, we
The
had
aborted start.
the aborted
Sorry.
start. Because nobody had a clue what the hell was going on. I mean, it was race control and stewarding was a little bit patchy, sketchy, shitty.
And this was basically the outcome of the stewards when they looked at it, wasn't it? Was that what was going on and the way it was it all played out and the way the instructions were issued. There was nothing written down about how to deal with that. It was so extraordinary that they couldn't punish anyone for doing something because it was kind of like, well, yeah, why not?
I mean, why did you go because the green lights weren't on? Just like, well, it was an aborted start. The yellow lights were flashing, so the start would have been aborted, which meant we go around for another formation lap. It wasn't an abandoned start; it was an aborted start. So it was that. It was the fact that it was aborted and not abandoned. However, Lando should not have gone without a green light being present. So I think did they give him a slap on the wrist for that? I think
I
eventually.
think it was a reprimand, wasn't it? A bit of a don't do it again.
$5,000 they charged him for that one.
Oh, I'm sure we'll manage.
Yeah.
Followed by
Yeah,
followed by a snotty letter from George Russell saying, "Just a minute, where the hell are all our fines going? And can we choose our own underpants, please?"
That letter was excellent, by the way.
It was.
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
We'll come to that later. Yeah.
It was certainly not as trivial as underpants, which is now my new favourite put down.
What? You're not as trivial as
Trivial.
underpants.
It's as trivial as underpants.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, if you felt such chagrin towards me to use that, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. I'll stop the
Yeah, I'm angry you're pissed off, but I congratulate you on the on the same.
But anyway, so nobody had a bloody clue what was happening at the start. Some cars moved, some cars didn't. Then they abandoned it. But we've got to look at the other things that went on with race control during the weekend because the VSC during the sprint.
Yes, that was
Oh,
slow,
yeah.
wasn't it? And
Very
weirdly
messy.
timed.
Yeah, although the explanation given for it does actually make sense because Hulk was still trying to move his car.
But there was a bit, wasn't there, where you could clearly see him out of the car wandering round in the background.
Yeah.
He's out the
He's
car.
definitely done.
going to
That's a house that's not
mechanics.
moving.
He's on McDelivery on his phone.
He's waiting for the stewards' party, but that didn't happen until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, there's a few dodgy, slow virtual safety car decisions in that race.
Yeah, I mean, the what was it, the qualifying red flag?
Yes, it was the one, wasn't it, where lots of people were on their flying lap, so they held it back, the red flag. But I think was Verstappen the one that was affected because he was behind the crash, so he got the yellow flag
Yeah.
anyway.
Perez.
Yeah.
Not
If
that
they
that
had-
matters.
No,
If they had red flagged it
straight
as
away.
soon as they'd seen the yellow flag,
Mm-hmm.
then Lando would have got through because 1 second before the yellow flag, Leclerc knocked Max out down to P11.
No.
It's just that they waited a little bit longer, was
Mhm.
what I read, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max wouldn't have got pole anyway.
No.
No,
Regardless
no.
of when the flag came out.
Yeah,
Not that it mattered come the race, to be fair.
no.
No. Because another of the notes you've written is Max is now champion.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
done,
it's
isn't it?
not mathematically, but it's as good as.
Yeah.
So is it? So we've got 3 races left? A triple header coming up with Vegas, Qatar, and then the finale in Abu Dhabi. If Max finishes ahead of Lando in Vegas, he's champion.
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's literally just a case of it's happening when it might not be in Las Vegas, but then it's almost certainly going to be Qatar, isn't it? If it's not Vegas.
Yeah, because what is it? The 78 points left because we've no more sprints.
No, there is one in
We've
Qatar.
got one
isn't
more
there?
sprint.
Oh, is there one more? Is there one more?
I think
sprint?
there is one in Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar sprint.
So that's 78,
82.
80. No, it's 8 points for a win. So that's 86.
86.
86.
Yeah, and the gap is currently 62.
Something needs to go wrong, doesn't it, for Verstappen if Norris is going to catch him?
Yeah. We need basically in order to take the title fight to Qatar and Abu Dhabi, a Max DNF. And I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think the fact that Max had that massive run at the beginning of the season has just gave him enough breathing space. McLaren haven't been able to capitalize on their pace in that mid-season chunk where Red Bull weren't winning. They allowed Mercedes and Ferrari in to win a few races. Made some pretty poor decisions, and then here we are at the sharp end, and all of a sudden Andrea Stella turns around and goes, "The Drivers' Championship was never really our target. I don't believe you. You've only turned around and said this now that it's likely you're not going to win it."
Yeah, what absolute bollocks. I mean, they might have acted as if they weren't wanting to win it, but you still tried to win it, just badly.
Yeah.
Lando will take it to Qatar if he can outscore Max by 3 points or more in Las Vegas, which is possible. That is possible. But it could mean that for the second year running, the championship will be decided in the Qatar sprint race.
And this is why sprint races at the end of the season are a worse idea than sprint races at any time in the season.
Yeah. I mean, last year it was so far ahead that it wasn't even really that far to the end of the season because it was back sort of early mid-October. It was my mate's Adam's wedding. I remember that it was that weekend, which is irrelevant to every listener apart from probably Adam himself. It was your wedding, Adam. But yeah, it was just, it took the excitement out of it being won in a sprint race. And you know what? One day they're going to put the last race of the season, they'll make Abu Dhabi a sprint race. Abu Dhabi will pay a lot of money for it. And then the title will be decided on the Saturday. and all of the build-up, but all the TV stations, all the social media and all that saying, oh, it's for Jewel in the Desert. It's right down to the wire. And then no one watches for Saturday. And they have to turn around on Saturday afternoon and go, oh, the championship was won this morning. Sorry about that. It's going to be embarrassing.
It's the way F1 is apparently heading.
Yeah.
Hey, MotoGP fans, you've got all this to look forward to when Liberty buy Dorna. Oh, hang on, you do it already.
Do they do a sprint race every week?
Yes.
They do now, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and the championship could have been won at the sprint race this weekend. It wasn't, but it still had the potential to be.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a quick Rockstars and Wankers for Brazil? Because, to be honest, there were a lot. I'm going for the mechanics. Everyone
as rock stars.
Mm-hmm. Everyone that managed to get a car back together in race-capable form.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give Max Verstappen Rockstar for that performance because, let's be honest, underperforming Red Bull. And the one weekend where he really needed to equalize, use the weather as an equalizer, he certainly did. And he, as we've just pointed out then, it pretty much put himself on the cusp of being champion. Could so easily have gone the other way, but it didn't. But I put Max as a rock star, but the super rock stars, I'm going to give to the Williams mechanics.
Yeah.
Yes. Even getting one car out was bloody amazing, given what state they were both in.
And they've had to rebuild that one since.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pre-rock stars for the next race, aren't they?
There was a very unsubstantiated rumour doing the rounds that Williams might only be able to field one car in Las Vegas, but that has been completely and utterly called out as bullshit.
They have the highest repair bill so far of the season. $9.4 million.
How much of that is Sargent, though?
$9.3 million.
Like, I realise Albon and Colapinto had crashes this weekend, but I still think they're probably not troubling the Sargent bill.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think you would have to say that the accidents in Brazil, as heartbreaking as they were understandable because it was damp. They were pushing, they were doing their best. When you look at Logan Sargent and that accident, for example, the one that really sort of did for the end of his career at Zandvoort, you're like, mate, why are you going near the grass? Nobody else has done that. Why? This is why your car is in 1,000 pieces in the middle of the circuit, and nobody else's is.
That was his version of doing his best.
Imagine watching that in retrospect and then putting your arm around Logan Sargent's shoulder. There we go.
Logan Soldier.
Logan Soldier. That's not that one. Not that. No. While you're down there, no. Putting your arm around Logan Sargent and saying, "Don't worry, Logan. This is only going to be the second most stupid crash of the year."
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, it's not untrue.
No, true.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think my favorite term was when that I've read all year long was from Kieran when Colapinto scored points. Was it Baku? Colapinto scored points in Baku, and I think it was his second race.
Sounds about right.
Scored points in Baku, and Kieran put on our chat thread, Logan Sargent has just punched his alligator.
I don't remember saying it, but it sounds like me. It does.
Was he not actually on that day seen watching, I think, a test for IndyCar eating a pack of Pringles? There's definitely something
Floridian staple?
Yeah, there's definitely something about him being sort of sat on his own in a stand at IndyCar eating Pringles.
Go on, Paul. Say the slogan.
If you pop, that's cool.
Sure.
Oh, close enough. Once you pop, it's a crisp. I was thinking of.
Oh, that one.
Technically not a crisp, are they, Pringles? Because they're reconstituted like mush rather than slices.
That is true. So once you pop, it's a snack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Officially. I'm gonna sound like I don't know. You might think I sound like a broken record, and I can't remember if I've said this in the past, but I kind of want to give the Wanker Award, or one of my nominated Wanker Awards of the Brazilian Grand Prix, to Sergio Perez. And this is in return to, and I can't remember if who it was in the chat group that said during the Brazilian Grand Prix, there's been 5 retirements, a red flag, a safety car, and still somehow Perez is out of the points.
Yeah.
And he finished 11th.
I mean, he was hoping for points. If anybody above him had got DQ'd for the false start, but no.
Given his teammate won it by
20
a number
nearly
of
20
seconds.
Nearly 20 seconds. Well,
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the Max Verstappen 19-second gap again, which is what he was doing at the start of the season.
He won it by Magulio, you know. So at that point, I'd argue maybe not Sergio's finest race again.
When was Sergio's finest race?
That one that he won.
What, the Bahrain one?
The Bahrain one in Racing Point.
The Squoval.
Yes. That is some years ago now.
And he only won that because Mercedes fucked up, because George Russell was going to win that one by absolutely masses until they put Bottas's tyres on.
Yes.
Yeah, other rock stars, other wankers. I mean, take it as Red Lance Stroll.
Yes.
There's that Canadian.
Behrman?
There's that Canadian driver as well, Lance Stroll, who should go on the list. Behrman, what, rock star or wanker?
It's sort of a bit Gene Simmons, really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because when he was on the track, he was fast, and when he was off the track, he was off the track.
He was eventful, wasn't he?
You definitely knew he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was ever present. But I think it bodes quite well for next year. I think he's done all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he got a points finish on his debut, then he got a points finish on his Haas debut.
Mm-hmm. And what is it now? Doesn't qualify for the young driver test.
Now he started 3.
Oh, yeah.
Now he started 3 Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have to find somebody new to put in as their young driver.
That was Behrman's first drive in the wet, wasn't it? In a
It
Formula
was, yeah.
Yeah.
One? I mean, we can't be too harsh on him,
Oh,
really.
God,
I mean,
No. I mean, the guys had one hell of a steep learning curve this year. Turns up to do his usual F2 stuff and then gets told, "Oh, by the way, you're driving a Ferrari."
Has he? No, he hasn't. I was going to say he's now got more points in F2 than F1, hasn't he? Because he's won a couple of races this season.
Yeah, but it took him a while to overtake himself.
Yeah.
Gonna go Fernando as a rock star for actually getting around the full race distance with his back in absolute agony.
Yeah.
And for his repeated comments about the younger end of the grid all being dangerous. Because he wasn't a fan of Behrman either.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a few things to say about Behrman being dangerous as well as Lawson.
Oh.
I mean, do we have to go wankers for race control and stewards?
not really. I don't think it's an easy thing to do, isn't it? Make a mistake.
Well, Ben Sulyem's definitely gone for it with Vittich, hasn't he?
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a message sent to me before to say that apparently after that GPDA letter that we were talking about before, the rumor that's doing the rounds at the moment is that Ben Sulyem said that was all Niels Vittich is doing, and that's why he had to go. And Niels Vittich has since said, "Well, I didn't leave on my own accord." So. I mean, make of that what you will.
Yeah, I mean, do we put Ben Sulyem in the wanker category permanently?
Probably, yeah.
I think
Just have
so.
his own
Yeah.
little
I
category.
mean, because when it was Bernie Eccleston as head as the FIA, I mean, of course, yeah, you saw him, of course, you heard from him, but I mean, generally speaking, for a majority of the time, he stayed out of it. Of course, there was massive dramas when he did stick his nose in. And same with John.
I mean, don't forget, but Bernie was only deputy head of the FIA. He was under Mosley, and
Correct.
And Mosley was second in command of F1.
Yeah, they were each other's deputy. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a cosy little arrangement.
yeah. Same with Jean Todt. Jean Todt would stay away from Jem. You remember we always used to make the joke about him printing off the Twitter. But like
that wasn't a joke. We had it told to us.
yeah, it was. That's pretty much what he said. But he reads the Twitter. Someone prints it off for him. It was real, genuinely real. But the
oh no!
But he stayed mainly well out of it. He was a figurehead to be seen and not heard from. Ben Sulayem doesn't seem to get that. He just meddles at every given opportunity he can. Why is he there to meet like the winner of the race every fucking time that somebody wins the race? Why was he stood on the podium? Did anyone spot that during the sprint at Brazil?
Yeah.
During the sprint of Brazil, Ben Sulayem was stood on the number 1 step at the podium watching the race.
I think he might like himself a bit.
Yes.
I think he needs to fuck off.
I don't necessarily disagree.
I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive. I think he can like himself and also need to fuck off.
Yeah. Again, the Gene Simmons
Yes.
of that. You see, you could. I reckon you could permanently hang up on the wanker column, permanent placement, in the framed spot, especially for Ben Sulayem. What I would say is the difference between him and someone like a Max Mosley or a Bernie is that if you said to Bernie, this weekend we've put you in the wanker category, he'll go, oh, cheers. Ben Sulayem doesn't have that sort of sense of humour.
No, he'd probably fire you.
No, he thinks it's like a powerful position when in actual fact, yes, it is a powerful position, but it's more of a figurehead. Mm-hmm. You're there to be sort of seen and to be referred to when required, not to just be everywhere all the time and in everybody's business.
Yes, sorry, I've just had an alert that in the last hour we've just gained another 144 followers on Blue Sky.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hooray! Welcome. Come.
Yeah, you can follow us on Blue Sky at 3legs4wheels.com. We actually get to use our own domain name as our handle on there. But we'll give you all those details at the end. That covers Brazil. As you will probably know, we tend not to partner with a lot of companies on the podcast because we're very selective about who we work with. But when Magic Mind came back to us and said, how did it work for you last time, and would you like to try it again? I actually jumped at the chance because you may remember a few months ago we were working with Magic Mind, their mental performance shots, and I could really feel the difference. I actually did feel more alert. I'm not a morning person, and this gave me a really good start to the day. And you may or may not know, I've been going through a few stressful times recently, and this is actually giving me a little bit more sort of energy to actually put up with things. So, yeah, when they said, "Do you want to become an ambassador for us?" I and the rest of the team jumped at the chance. So basically, we are now offering you the chance to join us on the Magic Mind journey with 20% off a one-time purchase or up to 48% off a subscription. It's a really good quality product. The ingredients are all ethically sourced, only from top quality producers, no nasty chemicals in there. Everything is 100% natural, and it really, really works well. So if you want to try it, if you go to magicmind.com/wheelslt20, you can get your 20% off on a one-time purchase, 48% off on a subscription, or you can use the code WheelsLT20 at the checkout to get that. And let us know how it goes. Right, we are now on to the section AOB.
Is that what I wrote?
Yeah,
Presumably any other business?
I would hope so.
Jesus. I didn't think there was going to be 13 items underneath that. Okay, we can probably skip Stroll is shit again, can't we?
No, let's do it.
Oh, okay.
The last right. I am looking at the list. The last item on the Brazilian Grand Prix section was Stroll is shit. The first item on the any other business section, Stroll is shit again.
I mean, it was such a level of shit, it probably does deserve that level of discussion.
Can we just mention, another Brazilian Grand Prix rockstar, or collective rockstar? All the Brazilian fans chanting for Drogovic when Stroll was beaching the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Also-
Drogovic in.
talking about the sad Lance thing that we were referring to earlier on, when Dan used to do sad Fernando. Has anybody noticed that when Lance Stroll sounds slightly despondent on the radio, he sounds like depressed Kermit the Frog?
I hadn't, but I will listen out for it this weekend when he inevitably does something stupid.
I'm beached.
For anyone else who wants to recreate that fact, just watch an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond at half speed. That cat's having a dump, isn't it?
She is, and it's a very squishy looking dump. It's going to stink to fuck.
I think there's going to be a jump cut in a minute, but we'll carry on as long as we can breathe.
So Kit Kat sponsoring F1 then.
Take a break, take a dizzy poo.
Next thing you got down here is Monaco and Canada swap, but we've done that one.
Yeah, we have.
We have. So, F1 Live 2025.
Did we actually do
Yeah.
Monaco and Canada swap, or did we do that before we started recording?
We did that before. Yeah, you're
Yes.
right.
Oh, God.
That
We
was
peaked
so
a bit
Patreon,
early.
we didn't even give it to the patrons.
That's the
I can't remember.
That's the
We
exclusive to we. I think we did. So, no, we'll do that now then.
Yes.
So yes, the provisional details for 2026 are already out. This is sounding like when 2020 happens in 2021, as it turned out it did. But yeah, the provisional details for 26 is the carrying on with the grouping all the races into more manageable chunks, so there's not as much ocean hopping and time zones and everything. So Monaco and Canada are swapping around, so Canada will be paired with the Miami race.
Yes. In
Yeah.
principle, I think this does make sense, because it did seem silly to go Miami, Monaco, Canada. That's a bit of a scenic route, isn't it?
Yeah, now
Well, it's the calendar for next year that gets me, because the 2025 calendar is already out.
Yes.
And that's basically set in stone. Like if your race isn't happening on the date that you said it's happening, then it gets postponed or cancelled altogether. Like it's very, very unlikely that you can like switch things around now. So we're talking about the sustainability, and it's all great doing this from 2026, but the 25 calendar is Australia, China, Japan. We're making sense so far, right?
Yes.
Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. Still making sense?
Yes.
yeah.
Right, okay. Then it's Miami, Emilia-Romagna, Monaco, Spain, Canada.
Well, it makes more sense than Miami, Monaco, Canada, Emilia-Romagna.
But like
then they
it
go
would make
Austria, Britain, Belgium, Hungary.
yeah,
good
it would
point,
make
doesn't
sense
it?
to
It makes
either
sense.
either move Canada forward or put Miami back. You would think,
Yes.
looking at that.
Yeah, either of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't know that necessarily swapping Monaco and Canada, because on the 25 calendar they've got Spain in between them.
Which works out
so-
well from an Isle of Man point of view, because Spain normally clashes with some TT races and is not normally a very good race. So you can kind of afford to skip Spain.
Just one eye on Spain, but most
Yeah.
eyes on the actual racing happening
Yes.
outside your front door.
Yes.
It clashed last year with the Isle of Wight Festival, and I think I watched the Grand Prix and didn't miss much of the festival, but I imagine I could watch the festival and not miss much of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and of course with Monaco changing from 26, it's going to take away the probably the biggest day of motorsport in the world. Well, or Clarkson there for a
Yeah.
second.
In the world.
Thank you. Because obviously you've got the Monaco Grand Prix,
Yep.
the Indy 500,
Yep.
and the Coca-Cola 600.
Yes.
all within 12 hours of each other.
But you can watch them all at the moment, can't you? Monaco is early enough that it doesn't clash with Indy. Indy doesn't clash with NASCAR, unless this year when it pisses it down in Indy and there's a shit show. But...
And both of which clashed with my gig, so all I got to see of the two races in the US was the red flag in the NASCAR. And Kyle Larson getting in a car and looking very pissed off when they pulled the race. Yeah, so if Monaco and Canada are swapping, and Canada is going to be on the same weekend as Indy, it's going to be at the same time.
There's a few issues here. So yeah, they've said it's going to be 3rd or 4th week of May, 4th week of May being generally when Indy is. They would both start around about the same time, and they're both on the same network.
Over here they are. Everywhere else they aren't.
I think they're not both on Fox now.
No, F1's not on Fox. It's it's ESPN.
I thought
ESPN.
that. Okay, fair enough.
It is owned by the House of Mouse.
Fair.
But yeah, you can't have the Monaco Grand Prix and the Indy 500, two of the Triple Crown of motorsport, starting and running at exactly the same time. I mean, you're going to go the whole hog, and Le Mans are going to say, "Oh, tell you what, we'll do the 24 hours on that day as well."
Yeah, do the Triple Crown at the same time.
Go on then, Fernando Larson, all yours.
This kid's playing 3 games of chess at once. Checkmate, 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 dang.
I'm going to say this is not quite Phil Collins playing Live Aid in 2 cities on the same day, is it?
Yes, he managed to...
He's in the race, having won.
He managed to bore London and bore Philadelphia.
I've made a mistake with my 2026 prediction there on the calendar, just looking at what's going to happen in 26. Don't forget the Spanish Grand Prix switches to Madrid in 26.
Allegedly.
Yes. Yes.
It has a contract.
A new city centre circuit, just what we fucking need.
Very rare to see a city circuit nowadays.
It's around a conference centre, is it not?
I think so, yes.
IFEMA Madrid circuit, I think, is the conference centre.
But yeah, somebody did point out that I read that the week before the traditional Monaco and Indy weekend is a bank holiday weekend in Canada. So it could be that Canada get the bank holiday, and then we just get reduced to 2 races.
That would probably suit us better.
May bank holiday / Labour Day weekend, depending which side of the Atlantic you're on. Or is it? Yeah, it's Labour Day, isn't it? It's the American bank holiday that they have Indy on.
Would you like to hear a list of Grand Prix that are not currently contracted for 2026?
It's quite substantial, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So Belgium, China, Zandvoort.
Oh, hold up, Chris. Start again. I've got the perfect thing for this.
Okay.
Right.
Oh God.
Go on. Go. Belgium, China, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, the Las Vegas Grand Prix at the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, Paradise, Nevada, and finally, the Mexico City Grand Prix at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City.
Excellent.
And for anyone,
I knew that'd pay off one day.
And for anyone of my age, there is a prize for all we show.
Well, careful now.
Well, no, because they used to use that as the gallery music on Take Heart and Vision On, and that's what they always used to say at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bank 2.
Yeah, that's quite a few races that aren't under contract. Obviously, Monaco was just signed until 2031.
Oh yeah, I forgot to write that down. Yeah, that's quite surprising because it sounded like they were going to do a Spa thing with them, where they were going to give them a couple of years until they decided whether they were going to make Monaco that sort of showpiece race. I'm guessing they're going to make it the European showpiece and Las Vegas be the American showpiece.
Maybe, yeah.
I suspect money will have been involved at some point as well.
That's the thing, though. Monaco doesn't pay for its Grand Prix.
Does it not?
No.
I wonder if it does now.
Well, who was it that said F1's taking control of it from the Automobile Club de Monaco?
Yes, they are.
So if they're going to be the promoters, they're not going to pay themselves any money. But yeah, Monaco, I think, is now the only race on the calendar that doesn't pay pay a fee for hosting, which is why tickets to all the other ones are so bloody expensive, because they've got to pay money back. Also, didn't Stefano Domenicali say last week or the week before, it's looking like it's going to be a race every 2 years at certain European circuits?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just not because of the amount of European circuits that are pushing to get back onto the calendar. So you've also got like Paul Ricard, the French Grand Prix. Okay, there was some dire French Grand Prix
Yes.
at Paul Ricard, but I do think we need a French Grand Prix. I just think we do.
Yeah. What's wrong with Manico?
I think it's just was it last year just passed its FIA Grade 1 again.
Am I right in thinking it's inaccessible? Or is that Paul
Yeah,
Ricard?
but Paul Ricard is inaccessible. It's got like a B road, hasn't it?
There's a B road and an
Right.
airport.
Yeah.
Bernie Ecclestone owns it all.
Therefore,
No-
we look away from
Not
that.
not anymore. Not anymore.
But does not own everything at Paul Ricard.
Slavia Eccleston owns it.
Ah.
She got it in the
Oh.
she got it in the divorce.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, okay, I don't want to be married to you anymore, so here's France.
Here's a racetrack.
You also get Esteban Ocon.
Can't just stick with France. So what was I saying? Yes, the other circuits that want to come back. Kyalami has just got its top grading.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so there's
it could be-
Thailand as well that wants to push for a race. There's a lot of countries pushing for races, so I can see why.
Yeah, I mean, there's
They
talk
might
of
look at.
talk of Sepang trying to come back. Do we think though 3 races in the USA is more than we need? Would 2 be a better number?
I think it's not going to be enough for Liberty. I reckon
I would-
they'll go for a 4th.
I would happily sack off Miami because it's never been good.
No.
Mm.
They keep threatening a New York race, don't they? That seems to be
Yeah.
the market they want.
I wonder where they do the New York. You can't do it in Manhattan. It would be hell. You'd have to do what the Formula E did and stick it round Red Hook and Carroll Gardens and all that.
A car park and some docks.
That's it. That's the one. The car park and some docks Grand Prix. Coming to New York.
Because Valencia don't want to do it anymore. Because Valencia was a
Yeah.
car park and some docks.
They've got
That
other
was,
things going
yeah.
on at the minute, haven't
Yeah.
they, in Valencia?
I'm not making a joke about
No,
Valencia.
no,
it's
no,
just-
I know that.
The Valencia street circuit. The only thing of note that happened there was Mark Webber's backflip.
I won a not unsubstantial amount of money when I put a random bet on Schumacher getting a podium in what was the last, I think, race at the street circuit. That was
Yeah,
notable
that was a good
to me.
The last Grand Prix, the 2012 race, was quite good. And the GP2 race earlier that morning was fantastic as well.
I have to rewatch that. I don't remember. And
You didn't watch it because you were watching York at Wembley.
that would be why.
Oh, I didn't watch it because I was watching Bruce Springsteen on the Isle of Wight.
Another track that has been rumoured that hasn't even been close to being built yet.
Oh,
For some reason, Rwanda. The British.
Does anybody know how you can get flights to Rwanda?
Yes, I do, because they're one of the main countries my company flies to. You go to Kigali. You can either go direct from Heathrow.
do you work
or-
for
there
Rishi
we go, a bit of-
Sunak?
No. You can either fly direct to Kigali from Heathrow, or you have to change in Turkey. But the stopover time in Turkey, because the meetup of the flights is wrong, you have to wait 22 hours in Turkey.
which is another
Stunning.
which is another circuit that wants to come back.
Yes.
That's just enough time for a blast round Istanbul Park.
Yeah, do it en route. Do it during the stopover.
And of course,
Midweek Grand Prix.
we've seen the quality of the circuits at Portimao, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Portimao as well.
Yeah.
That is one that, in my opinion, does need to come back.
The problem is, if we get all these great circuits on there, we will end up with a bloody calendar like NASCAR.
Oh
Yes.
no!
Because what is it? They have 36 to 38 races a season.
I
They
read
do
somewhere
races on
41.
Monday and Tuesday nights or something.
Only if it rains on a Sunday.
Okay.
They had Wednesday night races during COVID to try and catch up with the calendar. But no, it's 36 race weekends.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You're not travelling as far with NASCAR either, are you? For F1, 36 races is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But going back to the question about where we have these races, and is 3 in America too much? I had this conversation with somebody about whether or not 3 is too much for a world championship to have 3 races in one country. Generally speaking, no. Like 1 or 2 in a country is fine. But I think the American market is so used to a world championship having multiple events within the United States that they have to kind of cater to that, in order to bring in the newer fans, so more casual fans. Be like, oh, it's a world championship. So, I mean, if I miss this one, there's one in a few weeks' time in America, right? So, like, so they have to cater to that expectation, at least to start with. I would like to see. I would like, instead of Miami, I would like to see somewhere like Watkins Glen maybe put back on the calendar.
Yeah.
Amazing circuit. There's been been watching some fantastic racing there in IMSA.
Yeah, I don't know if it's allowed, like if it's graded for Formula One, but I think Watkins Glen would be amazing. I know it's had a bit of a redevelopment in the last decade or two. I can't really think of Laguna Seca might be quite interesting.
Sonoma?
Sonoma's another one, possibly. Road America, possibly. So that there are possibilities of circuits that could be upgraded, if you will, in terms of grandstands and the amount of fans that could be let in to watch Formula One if they wanted to attract the same. Because I don't know, but from last year's Las Vegas, it didn't look like it was like rammed and like everybody was like packing the stands to watch Formula One in Las Vegas. To me, it was
well, no, because they evacuated them all out in FP1 by mistake.
It was a night
yeah.
race. Yeah, that's right. It was a night race where you kind of saw some lights that you were told was a hotel that was famous, but unlike Singapore or anyone like that, you didn't really see an awful lot of fans in stands. So whilst it's glitz and glamour and it's it's a race and it's in Vegas, technically it's in paradise, but it's is it necessary? I don't know. I think traditionally Formula One could do better than just re-tarmac the strip to race on it and then rip it all up again the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
most of the sort of Indy and IMSA circuits are FIA grade 2, so they would need a little tinkering to get their top rating, but it's been done.
Yeah. I mean, COTA, I know that was built for Formula One essentially. I know they hold a series there, but I know COTA was built essentially for Formula One. I think it's fantastic. I love that circuit. I think it's brilliant.
Well, it's an amalgamation of 4 or 5 different circuits, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a greatest hits.
Yeah. Do you think this is a small tangent on the topic of NASCAR? You know, sometimes you can buy the posters or even just phone wallpaper backgrounds with all the outlines of the circuits on and then the schedule on them. So you can see the outline of Melbourne, see the outline of Bahrain, China, and all that. Do you think the NASCAR version is just 36 ovals?
Yeah, it's just a box of eggs.
Daytona, Atlanta, Las Vegas, oval, oval, oval.
But they do have a race at Watkins Glen, not on an oval.
Ooh.
And
they do Sonoma, I guess.
Yeah. The Watkins Glen one, though, an amazing sponsor. Bowling. Just it's called Go Bowling at the Glen.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah, I've actually found a thing with all the outlines on. I will send it.
But yeah, the NASCAR race at Watkins Glen is just sponsored by Big Bowling.
Oh, look, it's just a black and white photo of some eggs.
Oh yeah.
And Kota, which always looks like a wonky Great Britain.
What else
Yeah,
sponsors?
somebody pushed it
NAS?
over.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
want...
get like a. I'm assuming there's gonna be. This is probably Googleable.
Wait a
but-
second, hang on a minute. There's one at the bottom there, which is an oval in disguise. Is that Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Oh,
That's an oval.
that-
Somebody's accidentally put a yoke in the middle
Put an,
of it.
an infield.
Oh, that's the Roval.
What's
Okay.
the Roval?
Look at it, Kieran. It's like a road
Oh,
circuit,
yeah.
but also an oval.
It's an oval, but then they go into the middle.
Yeah, it's the Roval.
If you turn it 90 degrees, it looked like someone about to take a massive breath.
You talking about NASCAR sponsors? We have the Iowa Corn 350 powered by ethanol.
Dang.
Not powered by corn.
No. The Quaker State 400 available by Walmart.
You can have a look.
I'm sorry, America. I'm really sorry.
The
We have Wimbledon. Our sport's stupid as well.
Don't know if I want to. No, the real quality sponsors are in the
Oh, he's in no pants.
lower series for Xfinity and
Their online shop is
truck
called
races.
Situation.
I was going to say it's a NASCAR
Yeah.
light, like
That's
there's Indy
excellent.
lights.
Yes.
yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle's in it, isn't he? Or he was.
Yeah, he's going. Malcolm in the Middle is going to be a
Malcolm makes
full-time driver
enough money
in
from this to
NASCAR
sponsor
Xfinity, which
NASCAR.
is NASCAR F2.
Okay,
They sell mint.
so we are
they sell
talking
mint
genuine
chill.
Frankie Muniz.
Yes.
Fragrance.
Call
I don't know if you want- do you want
h11.com
mint
every
down
dig
there?
every
Wait, hang
time
on a
200 at
You
Phoenix
can have
Raceway.
scent, right? Listen to this, okay? You scent fragrance free.
This is like the waste
mint
management
chill,
open.
Purple
Right,
really
what
gold,
in the
shea
shit
butter
are
smooth,
dude
or
wipes? I'm really scared to
fragrance-free
kind of look that
I
up.
don't know, but it
Oh,
but
so
it was
you have
it
I'm
was
like
volunteering
camo
myself
print.
to have a look, and if I
Where's my
disappear,
arse gone?
then you know it's not good.
You have entered the dark web.
it was the week before the Andes Frozen Custard 300.
Billions
No.
of butts wiped. We make flushable
And talking of
Wow.
asses that are
Billions
gone,
of them.
Nils Vittich lost his
it's
job.
The website is a man pulling his pants down.
Good. Well saved.
I'm really glad I asked.
Oh, we also had.
I
we
think
also
we
had
might
the-
just did another minute for dude
Oh, they're
wipes.
extra large wipes for men who are too scared to buy baby wipes.
Do you need extra large wipes because of a big poo?
Oh
Big
my
bum?
god!
I'm crying.
They have got 4.6 out of 5 stars though
It's
What, on
like
Shit
well, I want to
Advisor?
read extra large
on their own website.
You like to feel better than you are. And you know it. Oh no! What happened?
You went away and
Somebody
then
help.
you came back.
Anyway, McLaren.
Oh, good God! So yes, Nils Vittich.
Oh yeah, not McLaren.
Yeah, jumped, pushed, assisted free fall.
He says pushed.
Assisted free fall.
Yeah.
I quite like.
Left by mutual agreement. You're fired.
Paid to
Okay.
go away.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yes.
Kimi Räikkönen.
Yes.
Yeah, paid
Yeah.
to not be there.
Yeah.
And what part of his career?
So are we going to see Nils Vittich turning up in NASCAR as well?
Maybe.
He's off to do the. I don't know. I can't even. I'm not even funny or witty enough to come up with some stupid sponsor on the spot.
Well, you don't need to, because when explaining the difficulty of getting good quality race directors, Ben Sullivan said it's not like Amazon where you can just order one. We have to
What?
We have to grow and train them.
I'm not having this. I'm going on Amazon now. I wish to order myself a race director.
Get some dude wipes while you're there.
No.
If you type in Nils Vittich on Amazon, what do you get?
I was about to find out.
You get
Niels Vittich.
This could be a
London
new...
street names.
Wow.
by John Wittich.
This could be a new regular feature. Wang a random F1 term into Amazon. See what it tries to sell you.
I'm also searching for. I think that those books might be a little bit out of date because 1998. I think some street names might have changed a little bit since then.
Other people what are leaving. Dan Fallows has been promoted sideways, shall we say, at Aston Martin.
Well, that's not a surprise, is it? Because Enrico Cardile was announced last year, wasn't it, or early this year, that Cardile would be joining Aston Martin
As soon as he'd finished his garden leave.
Yeah, and the thing is, his job at Ferrari was basically what Dan Fallows does at Aston Martin. So it's just like, well, you can't have two people in the same job, and Cardile's not going to just like leave as soon as he starts. So it sounds like Dan Fallows is on his way out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Aston Martin are big into not having two people doing the same job because they've got one guy who drives a race car.
And another one who sits in a simulator and tells them what to do.
I mean, it's the whole Aston Martin revolution, the big factory, Adrian Newey, everything being undone by Lance Stroll.
I have found the perfect race director gift on Amazon. I am pasting it into our chat group.
It's alright, I've just pasted some of my favourite reviews of dude wipes.
Okay.
Oh, lovely. Coach Duncan. Dude wipes are the best in the business. The great.
Hang on.
Accent.
Where's your music? Where's the music?
Yes. Actually, yeah. I've got the. Dude wipes are the best in the business. The great fill to help clean up the the bad Star Spangled Banner is not the right thing. The best fill to help clean up the mess.
Look,
5 out of 5.
He has posted a selfie with this review and he is delighted.
Yeah.
That's a pleased man.
So is the man in the second picture.
Yeah, he's a bit too pleased, isn't he?
He's a photographer for Bassmaster magazine.
Well, is that Bassmaster or Bassmaster?
It might be Bassmaster because
that
they
does
look like fishing rods behind him.
yes.
Yeah.
And that would make sense for a NASCAR fan because they have lots of sort of Bass Pro Shop sponsorship.
Yeah, I was very disappointed when I.
Oh my god! What was the
Pro
third
shops.
one? My bum hole feels like it chewed a pack of gum.
See, I wasn't sure at first whether that was going to be a good review or not.
The person who's
You
written
know
it
when-
he started writing B-Buck, and then he's gone, I don't want to put my name to it, and just put anonymous afterwards.
B-Buck Anonymous.
It's not how anonymity really works, is it?
Not really. No, it's like, my name is Chris Incognito.
Yes. I have erectile dysfunction issues from Kieran Tompkins.
No, we didn't. No, we did those adverts about 3 years ago.
So you know when you are hungover and end up puking your brains out, and then you try everything under the sun to get that taste out of your mouth. Gargling mouthwash, brushing your teeth, chewing gum. Well, this is the solution for when your bum hole destroys the toilet. A few wipes with one of these bad boys and your bum hole feels like it chewed a whole pack of spearmint gum. It's as refreshing as it sounds. You won't be disappointed. Tick. He's then ticked the box of this. Yes, I recommend this product.
Excellent.
I give him 5 out of 5. So I mean, that's a B-Buck Anonymous.
You know, you've got that on Amazon. Was this review helpful or unhelpful? Somehow, 4 people have gone, this review was unhelpful.
Because it was anonymous, Kieran. Clearly.
Good point.
They want to contact the seller and find out, or the purchaser and find out what they actually thought.
Is this the idea you had, Paul, when you wanted to start a Formula 1 podcast?
Reviewing butt wipes.
100%.
Now have a look at my Amazon link.
I'm a race director. Nothing scares me. Paperback
Yes.
notebook, $5.99. Now you see, if he'd bought that, he'd still have a job.
Yeah, see on the first page, Lance Stroll.
It
The
does,
second
however,
page,
say
end of
currently
book, scared.
unavailable.
Well,
Currently
Myron.
unavailable, much like Neil's footage.
Birdum. Right. Looking down the list. Next thing I've got is another sponsor story. So Kit Kat is the official chocolate of F1.
Oh, I briefly mentioned this earlier when I didn't mean to, but then I did.
There's more to this, isn't there? This isn't just, oh, how nice F1 has a chocolate bar, because they're the sponsors for Sergio Perez as well.
Interesting.
So, I think I might have said this on the chat group at the time. There's two ways to take this. Is this a Sergio's got a bit of Wonga behind him and they're spreading into the wider F1 market, makes him more attractive? Or is it B, Kit Kat or Nestle, shall I say, have looked at Sergio Perez and gone, oh God, he's 3 legs, 4 wheels have named him Wanker again. We're going to lose him. Okay, let's just sponsor F1 again. Let's do that.
I would lean towards the latter. I think it's Nestle sort of spreading their load as such.
I think maybe Franco Colapinto doesn't like chocolate.
Maybe he doesn't like chocolate.
Yeah, so they're thinking, well, we can't sponsor Colapinto, so let's maybe just sponsor the whole sport, because there's an official everything for the Olympics. There's an official phone cable for the Olympics if you want to charge your phone. So why not have an official chocolate bar for Formula One?
Now, now the question is it Nestle or is it Hershey's? Because Hershey's on the rights to Kit Kat in the US.
Oh.
It's Nestle for the rest of the world. But, Hershey's have had the rights to it for about 50-odd years.
Interesting.
In the USA.
Is this going to be like a Shaw deodorant thing again, where it depends what country you're in as to
Rexona.
what name is on the car? Well, not on the car in this case, but...
Or
on the
Primark
sport.
is owned by Huggies or something like that, isn't it? It's a weird tangent.
Yeah, so... which Kit Kat is it?
Yeah.
As far as I know, the logos are slightly different, so once the logo turns up, we'll see.
My stepmum won't buy anything Nestle or Hershey's because of the various, without getting into too much libel issues here, the various misdemeanors and controversies they've had over the years. However, every year she'll buy me a Reese's advent calendar. And every year I go, I love Reese's, thank you very much. Must remember to never tell her that Hershey's and Nestle own Reese's, because then I will never eat Reese's again, and that would be upsetting. Small tangent.
Small tangent. The other question is, of course, what flavour are they going to do for the Japanese Grand Prix?
Ooh. Yes.
You might get your wasabi Kit Kat again.
Oh, we had some new ones this week.
We did. This is true.
Can't remember the flavours. We haven't tried any
Mix of flavours.
But yeah, I don't think F1's ever had an official chocolate bar before.
It is a very American sports thing, isn't it? Having, sort of like the official drink of this, the official snack of this.
I remember watching baseball in the United States, and I couldn't believe that a home run was brought to me by Chef Boyardee. I was like, why?
What, you got a home run out of a tin?
I know. I was just like, what did they sponsor? Every time a home run happens, the person who's watching it was like, yeah, that's what happens.
Well, it's like UFC. They've got a sponsor for the third round.
I saw the ATP Tour Finals, the tennis at London at the O2 about 10 years ago, and the ball boys were sponsored by Barclays.
Barclays Ball Boys.
Barclays Ball Boys come from. It was quite funny because they did this whole thing where
that sounds like the kind of product that needs an advert doing in the 1930s style.
Chris,
have you lost your balls? Have you lost your balls? All now on number 3. Barclays Ball Boys will retain your balls for you, and you will be able to play in great knowledge that your balls are being well kept by the Barclays Ball Boys.
What the hell is this episode?
We're incredibly serious.
I can hear people subscribing to Shift F1 instead as we speak.
Oh my god.
You gone.
It
We
was
don't
quite-
need you.
When they came in, all the lights came down to be O2. It was all really dramatic. And then the voiceover said, the Barclays Ball Boys are selected from 16 local schools. They have been trained for the last 8 months to entertain you today at the O2. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barclays Ball Boys. And they all came out and they ran around the court very quickly. And then they ran off the stage again. They introduced Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic. And then just 10 minutes later, they came out like, crouching down on their phones, pretending as if nothing had happened. Like, what was the whole point of the video and the dance and the slow little Baywatch run? Utterly pointless.
So, Kit Kat.
It's a Kit Kat.
Let's move on to the next thing on the list. Colapinto or Lawson?
Yes.
Colapinto to RB, Lawson to Red Bull.
I thought it was which one's Fernando going to chin first?
There was an article, I think, on the race the other week.
Who
the other
have
day, it might have been.
who have, as of today, just taken Otmar Schaffnauer onto their advisory board.
Amazing. Congratulations, the race.
Thank you,
Uncle Otmar.
thank you, Steve Faber, for sending that through to me about 20 minutes ago, and I said it'd make the podcast. But carry on.
Oh well, I mean, I took the mickey out of Otmar for quite a while. Then I started following him on Instagram. He's basically everyone's awkward dad has joined Instagram all in one. Now I quite like him. Uncle Otmar, as Ted calls him.
The picture that went hard, which we're not entirely sure.
Yeah,
Why
I can't remember what it was now. Yeah. But yeah, there's an article about a week ago on the race. I think it was race. It might have been Autosport, where they were suggesting that it's the Colapinto thing is a bit similar to Nick de Vries when Helmut thought that Nick de Vries was going to be absolute bobbins. Christian Horner said, well, he's experienced, give him a chance. It turns out Helmut Marko was right. It sounds like Horner's pro Colapinto and Helmut, predictably, because he's his boy, is pro Liam Lawson. So there might be, yet again, another power struggle between Helmut and Horner at Red Bull.
They are collapsing, aren't they, slowly, Red Bull?
Oh, yeah. Imploding from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so obviously we know that, I'm sure you've spoken about this on previous podcasts when I've not been around. But
we've only done about 3.
Yeah, well, you've got Adrian Newey's gone.
Yes.
Basically, he's not doing anything with that team now. Jonathan Wheatley is off to Sauber Audi to become is it technical director or team manager or something there? Somebody else who's very important to Red Bull who's leaving as well. They're just completely like caving in on themselves. And it is sad, really, because with all due respect to them, they are a multi-championship winning team, and a lot of that team were there when Vettel was winning races and championships like 10, 15 years ago now. And they've obviously had this really good run with Max, but it now seems like literally like everybody's just flocking the nest very quickly. On track, it's been a fairly decent year for Red Bull, but off track, it's been an absolute mess.
Yeah, it looked like it was all falling apart a race or two in, with Yost turning around and trying to get rid of Horner quite quickly and say that, there's no confidence and all this sort of thing. So it's calmed down slightly, but not completely by quite a distance.
No, I don't
and
know.
Helmut's not a young man. He can't start throwing around all the shade to everyone. So he's got to have someone to do it.
I don't know. He seems to be doing a good enough job of throwing all the shade at the minute. And he's what, 82, 83?
Is he that old?
I think he's about 80, isn't he? Let me have a quick Google on him. I've got a Google machine here. Shouldn't really be Googling helmet, but let's see what happens.
Can't be worse than dude wipes.
Well, I don't know. I've searched and Helmut Marko's appeared. Yeah, he's 81.
Somewhere in a Manx government operation, the Chris floodlight has gone off twice tonight. Two lights for Chris Flood. Something's going on down at the internet down at Chris Flood's house.
Yeah, they probably think Lee's around there.
Yeah, Elise alarm just won't stop flashing. Change the bulb.
But yeah, the whole Red Bull implosion thing. I mean, you know, those Christian Horner WhatsApp messages got leaked. Did anyone see if they had a Dutch IP address where they were coming from?
Good point.
There is too much Jos there, and I think he's just complaining too much. And I get the feeling that Jos and Helmut actually get on quite well because they're both completely and utterly objectionable.
Yes. It's a really good way of putting it. Aren't you an arsehole? I'm an arsehole too. We should get beers.
Yeah, you'll have to go. I've got an exclusion order. But yeah, this is why I think Jos is so there and so prominent. Is that him and he's on Team Marco because they both got one major thing in common, is that neither of them can stand Christian Horner.
Doesn't Helmut own quite a large stake in the actual racing team as well? It's him and Christian that are directors, are they not, of the Formula One team?
I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, Christian, as we found out when the whole scandal came out, he is the chief exec.
Of the Formula One team.
Of the Formula One team.
Yeah.
And Helmut is managing director of the Red Bull Racing program. Not Red Bull Racing program, the whole Red Bull group organization racing thing. So I think he is in charge of the entire F2, F3 Formula Regional Drivers Series and National Series as well. So I think there's a couple kicking about in British F4. So,
Can I interject for a second? On my Google search for Helmut Marko, the company's house thing has just turned up, the website.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a correspondence address for him, which is very precise. But occupation is down as hotelier.
I am literally looking at the exact same thing. And yes, that also caught my eye, and I realise as I'm saying that it's talking about something catching one's eye when it's Helmut Marko. Just the one eye.
Well, there's only one of them that falls out.
But yeah,
Red Bull
hotelier.
Racing Limited, occupation, hotelier.
Hotelier. Does he own hotels?
Do Red Bull Racing own hotels?
Maybe that's the COVID camp he wanted to send everyone to.
Maybe, yes.
Imagine Helmut Marko on 4 in a bed.
HelmutMarkoHotels.com, Graz Hospitality.
Wow.
For
hosts, you've given us 7.
I'm getting Basil Fawlty vibes here. Yes.
Oh shit! Hello, it's not in English.
We'll move on. It has been announced that Carlos Sainz will be making his Williams debut at the post-season Abu Dhabi test.
Yeah, so this is interesting, isn't it? Because Ferrari are going to release Sainz from his contract to go and do the Williams test literally the day after the final race of the season. Mercedes are not allowing Lewis Hamilton to leave before the end of the year,
which is why Lewis Hamilton says the thing that he's most looking forward to for the rest of the F1 season is Christmas.
Yeah, because that's when he finishes work.
Yeah.
Because he's literally got a PR campaign to do from the end of the season right up until Christmas, which I know is only like 3-4 weeks, but he's got to film things for TV shows, for adverts, for, I don't know, all the sponsors. Like, thank you so much for looking after me, all these championships, all the success we've had, blah, 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 blah. Here's me driving all of my millions of cars that I've won all my millions of races in. Stuff like that. And so Ferrari don't get Lewis Hamilton, even though they're going to release Carlos Sainz. I don't know if they're allowed to use Ollie Behrman in the post-season test, or if Haas might want him, because obviously he'd be driving a Haas next year.
Well, if they're using Leclerc, they can't use Behrman because they can only use one driver that's had 3 or more starts and one that's had 2 or less.
In the post-season test?
Yes.
So they
Well,
they have to use one young, is it then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So does that mean that Antonio Fuoco, who is also going to take part in in FP1 at Abu Dhabi, is also going to take part in the young driver test for Ferrari? Because despite the fact Antonio Fuoco, who is he was 10 years ago now, was like tips to make Formula One. He's now part of Formula One's Ferrari's GT program.
Yeah.
He races Le Mans, but because Ferrari have used Ollie Behrman rather Haas have used him twice and Ferrari used him once, Ferrari still need to give up an FP1 to a young driver.
Mm-hmm.
The only driver they can give that up to is Antonio Fuoco. So that's the story at the moment, is that Antonio Fuoco is doing FP1 at Abu Dhabi, and he must be in to do the young driver test as well.
Yeah.
28-year-old Le Mans winner Antonio Fuoco.
Yeah. What happened to Antonio Giovinazzi?
They still own him as well. He's still in there.
He won Le Mans for him.
He won Le Mans last year. Yeah. Antonio Fuoco won it this year.
Mm.
So
next year, Antonio... I can't think of
Rudiger?
They do. They need a new Antonio.
Rudiger. Yeah, Rudiger.
I mean, don't forget, there is Badoa, the next generation, coming through.
Yes. He's only about 17, I think, though.
Yeah, old Bobby Badoa, isn't it? Something like that. I can't remember his name now.
Brando,
Also, as Sean pointed out, he's in the McLaren driver program.
Alongside the driver they'll be using in the young driver test. Welcome back, Gary Paffett.
They could take Maya Work from F1 Academy. She's in the Ferrari.
They could. You're right. But I don't know. Alpine probably won't use Abby Pullin, would they?
They probably would.
They're probably
not with
they're going to use.
Not what they've got Jack doing. He'll be driving the.
I'm just looking at sort of what else they've got available to them.
So has everybody seen what the link is now from like winning the academy? There's now a guaranteed seat.
Yes,
has everybody seen this?
Is it
British
GB3?
Yeah, so GB3, which is the old BRDC Formula 4, but is now Formula 3.
They've soaked the cars up and put the airbox on the side so it looks like a homing missile.
Yes.
Yeah, basically,
yes,
yeah.
that one.
So you do Formula 4 in an F1 support series, and then if you're good enough to win that, you then get to piss about in the rain in Britain for a year in Formula 3.
I mean, last year it was a guaranteed seat in Freca.
Yes.
I'd like to think that going from F1 Academy to GB3 is actually going backwards.
I think so.
F3 is British F3 or GB3, whatever it's called now, is not a scratch on the publicity that you would have got from F1 Academy.
It's
not
not
even near.
It should be F3, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah,
because essentially
absolutely.
they're F4 cars. So if anybody is good enough to race and win in the series in an F4 car, then really there should be an opening then for them to go and race in F3 the following season.
Yeah, because I mean, before when it was Freca,
the natural progression to me.
Yeah, when it was Freca, they used the same cars, so that was just a sideways move into a less well publicised series.
Which again seems slightly backwards to me. I mean, all props to Jamie Chadwick for after winning the now defunct W series and being like, well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go over to America and see what I can do over there because Formula One apparently and the support series don't want me.
Although she is still on the Williams program.
She is.
Okay, but what's she doing? Indy Lights at the moment?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Doing quite well.
Doing quite well.
Season. Yeah.
Yeah, not rubbish at all whatsoever. So if you do well in W Series or Academy, then it should lead on to bigger and better things. Not, to my opinion. Oh, well done. Here's a seat in British F3.
Yeah, if I was Abby Pullin, I might not take that. I don't. I mean, I don't know if Alpine can go. We've got enough faith in you to whack some dinero on a F3 team, but I would push for F3.
Well,
I
I mean,
really would.
there's a few Alpine logos on the F3 grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Sophia
I mean,
Flörsch.
Yep. She's done an Indy
It's-
Lights test.
is it Rodin that Abby Pulling's F4 car is operated by?
Yes.
Well, then why didn't she get a seat in a Rodin team in F3?
Because she gets a seat in a Rodin team in GB3.
No, to me it seems. To me it doesn't seem like a progression as such.
No.
I know that the car is technically speaking a progression, but series-wise, it should be a step into F3, like international F3, not British F3.
Rodin have got a full house for next year in F3 already, including the two most recent GB3 champions.
Oh, so it could only delay things by a year.
Yeah, it's a very important year.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're ready now, you're
don't
ready
like
now.
it.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Imagine if pick a Formula One driver, Charles Leclerc, for example. Charles Leclerc was F3 champion, F2 champion into F1. So imagine Charles Leclerc was just like F3 champion, F2 champion. Right, okay, we're gonna go send you to Super Formula in Japan for a couple of years before you can come to Formula One.
You mean you mean Gasly in?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But Gasly is not a. I mean, please forgive me here, but Gasly is not a contender for the World Championship currently. He may be if the 2026 rules fall kindly for him. Be in contention as if Alpine actually get their shit together and that Mercedes power unit's really good. That's a weird one we haven't discussed either. Charles Leclerc, that's the progression that he's made. F3 champion, F2 champion, F1. Okay, he's won races, he's fought for championships, but not got close enough yet.
I guess with Gasly, it's situational. The fact that he got put into a team which wasn't going to win a race anytime soon, and then when he did get put into the team which might win a race, he folded quite badly. He hasn't done a Piastri.
As did the team.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of Red Bull.
Who are folding at the minute.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't think that's directly Gasly's
5 years
fault.
ago they won.
I don't know. Helmut Marko would probably blame Gasly for the state that Red Bull are in now.
Yeah. I think it's problematic if we're going to take an F4 driver or an F4 spec driver who can win races and is a guy and go, right, he's good enough for F3, but then take the winner of a series which is exclusively female and go, right, well done. Fancy another? Don't fancy you in F3. When we've got drivers in F3, and by drivers in F3, I mean Sophia Flörsch, who are both female and rubbish and taking up a seat. Sorry, Sophia.
No, you're not.
Rarely do I slate Sophia Flörsch on this podcast. What a rarity. And that's Sergio Perez, by the way. No, I just think they're not taking her seriously enough because Mercedes, as we've seen with Kimi Antonelli, Mercedes will not be afraid to see how good Dorian Pan is and go, I think we'll have you in an F3 car or an F2 car.
I mean, she's been doing
So
Frecker
why?
this year as well as F1 Academy.
Yeah, so she's doubled up.
Yeah, so
How's she doing in Frecker?
F3 is the next logical step for her, really.
She had a bad crash
Absolutely.
and broke some ribs, so she missed a bit, but she's ahead of Marta Garcia, who was the F1 Academy champion last year.
Yeah, Dorian Pan has been, obviously a little bit overshadowed in the academy by Abby Pulling, but I mean, clearly has the chops to go on and push in a more powerful car, much like Abby Pulling does, much like a couple of the drivers in the academy definitely deserve their chance to step up into a more powerful car. I just don't think that GB3.
Well, did you see Dorian Pan in Ferrari Challenge completely wipe the floor with everyone? And those Ferrari GTs are more powerful than the F4 car that is in F1 Academy.
Well, there you go. There's your answer, Dorian Pan, for one, and I'm sure many others could join her. Good enough to make a step up into another series. So don't, let's not go backwards or sideways or whatever you want to call it. Forwards, please.
No,
And
that's-
in conclusion, Carlos Sainz will be driving in the Abu Dhabi test for Williams.
right. I'm aware of the time, so we'll just race through the next.
Yeah,
Vegas
race
liveries,
through
they're
these.
all going to be hideous.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Right,
Yeah,
done.
of course they
Next.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sauber one's come out today, and I looked at it and went, it's rubbish, I don't really know what it is. Then a few hours later, I read, Sauber's flamey new liveries. I had to turn it sideways and go, oh yeah, they're flames.
Right.
In non-related Formula One news, San Marino have won their UEFA Nations League group.
Yes. This is
they won it
exciting.
in the
Oh,
end.
they
That
did
is
win it.
brilliant.
The
They
San
were
Mar-
1-0 down.
They were. They
They
got
do-
a penalty. It was amazing. The San
They
Marino
won
fan
3-1.
account on the social medias is one of my favourite social media accounts. They're very
Same.
exciting.
Yes.
Wow, bloody hell. Damon Hill leaving Sky. 13 years he's
Yeah.
been there. I didn't realise it was that long.
To be
Since the
fair,
start.
he's been playing more and more of a bit part of it, hasn't he? Like he'd go like half a season and not be on, and then he joined them, and I'd be like, oh yeah, Damon Hill, yeah, I remember. He used to do the thing.
I think it's a shame because I rate Damon very highly. I've always thought he was fantastic. He got a couple of things wrong. I think in the Lewis Max year, I think he might have said a few things which I don't necessarily agree with. But generally, I think he's a very nice person and a very good pundit.
Yeah, he's good for the mindset of a driver. I think Damon Hill's insight when it comes to like what the driver is thinking at a certain time under pressure. He's really good from that kind of perspective of like what's going on in the cockpit. But yeah, I don't know. But it appears to be quite a mutual decision that they're both not willing to continue with each other, Sky and Damon Hill. So fair enough.
He'll turn up on F1 TV and we won't be able to see him legally in this country. And that probably leaves us with another year of Danica. Did anyone
No.
Did anyone know that
No.
anyone know that she used to be a racing driver? I don't know if she's mentioned it or not.
Did anybody catch, and I don't know if anyone did, but there is a YouTube clip of it going around, Danica Patrick being passed the commentary by Karun Chandhok. I think it was during practice for Mexico. Just like, here comes Carlos Sainz down the straight. Take us round this lap, Danica. And she just went, this is a fast section.
Car
And it
got
wasn't.
wheels.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And like,
But she did used to be a racing driver.
she did. Yeah, no, she did used to be a racing driver.
She is fairly fond of telling people that fact. Oh, and
I would hope
lizards.
she's not going to get another year or two, Danica, because again, when she started, a little level-headed, quite nice to listen to. Since then, she mentioned cloud seeding at one point, and you just knew deep down she wasn't kidding.
That was the sound of a cat throwing a cable of some description for some
A
reason.
USB cable.
Furious at the inclusion of Danica Patrick in F1. Clearly, the cat had spoken.
Still moving swiftly on. RB think they'll be the baddies in the F1 film. I know nothing about this because
Right. So
if anyone mentions
I
read-
the F1 film, I tend to switch off.
Yeah,
Well, no, it's coming together. Apparently, they've had to film a few more bits this season.
that's
which
not
they
a good sign that they've had to film more bits. That means they've shown it to a test audience and it did not go well.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
reshoots. The second crew turning up on day one, going, "How many are there? 4
Yeah,
weeks."
Again at Mexico, did anyone see Brad Pitt running around with a Mexican flag?
Yes,
Yes.
and having the
Yeah.
absolute crap ripped out of him because he was celebrating a win with his helmet off, but with his gloves still on.
Oh.
And every racing driver said,
Oh yeah.
You
"There's
won't have got that
no
out."
way
No.
you can get the helmet off with your gloves on."
Yeah, actually, as a former motorcyclist, I would agree. You have to take the gloves off first.
As somebody who rides a pedal cycle, I would agree with that.
Jane and I last week watched an advanced copy of the new F1 film. No, wait, sorry, we watched Driven. That was it. We watched Driven the other week. And I can tell you that film does not stand up. And it didn't really stand up 23 years ago.
Frank Williams could stand up better than that film when it came out.
Oh, my Christ almighty.
Too soon?
Oh. Ah. So yeah, Red Bull just think they. I think Christian Horner gave an interview somewhere. It might have been GQ or something where he said, "Yeah, there's this film coming out, and we're pretty sure that we're going to be the baddies in the film."
Which they didn't want to, because everything's been Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton is a executive producer, but it is independently. It is through his production company, which I didn't realize Lewis Hamilton had a production company.
And there's Mercedes logos on the Apex cars and some similar sponsors.
Mercedes, the cars are built by Mercedes as well. Mercedes built the cars for Apex GP.
Although the release date coincides with the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, they are. I can't remember. Are they?
Gem.
Well, it's at the Red Bull Ring,
is at
isn't
the Red
it?
Bull Ring.
I'm busy.
Good point,
I'm
yeah.
busy that weekend.
But no, the Jerry Bruckheimer has had to come out, and this is such a weird thing to fucking say. Jerry Bruckheimer has had to come out and lay all the fears and be like, no, we had to have conversations with everybody in the sport because Red Bull did not want to be viewed as like the baddies in the film. We've had to reassure them over many conversations that they are not the bad guys.
Right, okay, so the guy with one eye and a dueling scar isn't the bad guy in it.
Henry Blofeld. Let's rename him Helmut Marko.
No, wasn't Henry Blofeld the cricket commentator?
He's the cricket commentator. Fuck's sake.
I thought, wasn't it Stavros Blofeld?
Ernst
Stavros Blofeld.
Boutros Ghali.
My dad's just shouted at his Alexa.
And now everybody else is shouting at this because you said the A word.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Talking of utterly rudderless, Williams now sponsored by driverless taxis Zoox.
Yeah, again, this is a bit of fun. I think this was a couple of days ago. Williams have a new sponsor. They are a series of Asian tested, or I think they're tested in Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos.
So tested in Asia.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Oh God, let's wrap this up. So they were tested in the Far East by everybody there. I think they went down quite well when they launched on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Williams are on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. They were floated, and now they've come together to have this partnership, basically. That's the story.
And
I
it's
will
been
now
announced
let you
just
make
now.
all your Logan Sargent jokes.
And of course, they've announced it just now because one of their main testing regions is Las Vegas.
What Zoox is
Zoox-
testing in Las
Zoox
Vegas?
have apparently been doing test driving in San Francisco and Las Vegas.
And I'm not entirely sure how to describe the look of the cars, so I'm just going to share a picture of one on our chat.
They are
Oh,
a
dang.
subsidiary of Amazon.
Are they really?
That is an
Yeah.
ugly looking thing.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
But does anybody watch
looks like-
Total Recall?
I was
It
going to
looks
say,
like a golf cart
gonna say
fucked a
that-
milk truck.
I only watched Total Recall last week. It is a Johnny Cab.
It is a Johnny Cab, isn't it? Yeah, for Total Recall.
It looks like Brum.
It does have a
dear.
face, doesn't it? There's something about
It
it
does
that
have a
does make it
face.
look quite facial.
Yeah.
Nice to see that Alex Albon struggling to overtake it there on the picture.
Oh, you'll get where you're going quick.
With Johnny Cab.
And that leaves the last thing on this long list. For a show that doesn't do show notes and makes it up as we go along, we've still been making it up as we go along, even with show notes. Qatar looking to buy in an Audi F1. Is that the?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the
Only
Qatari
a
wealth?
little bit about.
Is that the Qatari wealth fund that also owns a sizable chunk of McLaren?
I think it's not
Don't
McLaren, is it?
know.
It's it's Bahrain.
Oh, is it Bahrain?
Yeah, it's
that
Bahrain,
own-
that's
Yeah,
right.
sorry, it is.
It's they do own something quite substantial. They own Barcelona Football Club and I think part of the Volkswagen Group anyway. So it makes complete sense for them to plow some money into the Formula One team. The odd thing about this is is that Audi only like a few weeks ago were like, it's imperative that we own 100% of our team so that we have all of the control, and it's all done in house and all this. It's like, okay, that's impressive. And then some weeks later, they're like, we're going to sell 25% of our team before
they
we've
own a
even
lot.
started.
I'm just looking at what they own. It's like Harrods, Heathrow Airport, although a major shareholder, 20%. 17% of... No, actually, 30% of Volkswagen. A large amount of Barclays. Mm-hmm. So, ball boys. Yeah, what else is there on here?
Part of
PSG?
the group.
Do they own PSG?
They own PSG. Part of the group that purchased Miramax from Disney.
I thought it was Saudi Arabia that owned PSG.
Are Miramax the baddies?
No, because Weinstein hasn't been there long enough. That's why he set up the Weinstein Company.
Thank you.
Qatar Sports Investment completed a buyout of the French football club Paris Saint-Germain and also Paris Saint-Germain handball. So they own
What?
football and handball, PSG.
Do not mix those two up. Champions League final. Go. No, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
Are you listening, Argentina?
They appear to be involved in Al Jazeera Sports and beIN Sport. So yeah, lots of stuff.
Yep, so it looks like they're trying to buy into something that they already own a chunk of.
Yeah, which is weird.
It was just strange. I think more so that you've got Audi so adamant that that owning the team was really important, owning it 100%, not like other teams. And now they're like, so some of our team is for sale now. So like, hey, hang on a second, how did you get from that to this?
Is it going to be like that Simpsons episode where the Germans realise that running a nuclear power plant is trickier than they thought?
I don't know. They own too much. I don't want to go down the libel laws again, but Harrods, they haven't had a great few weeks, have they? So I reckon owning Audi isn't the worst thing in the world for Qatar.
Well, I think Harrods are okay. It's maybe not being related to the former owner. There's not might be.
Yeah, sorry. No, my apologies to Harrods in that sense. I will quote this one sentence in the Autosport article about it, which might wipe out the last 5 minutes of content. Despite repeated denials, the first speculation about a potential deal was revealed by veteran F1 journalist Joe Saward.
Oh.
Mm.
Do you want me to just,
thanks for listening.
Do you want me to just delete the last 5 minutes?
Has he calmed down yet, or is he still the angriest man on the planet?
He's still the angriest man on the planet.
Okay.
I love when a news story comes up on, so like Hamilton's drink is going to be taken from Mercedes to Ferrari as a sponsor, and he will say, I first mentioned this in my notebook 3 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, very good, Joe. Well done. What an exclusive. I hear you're up for the Pulitzer.
But we will never know because he's protected his tweets.
Has he?
Yeah.
Also, for someone who had a go at, I've probably said this on the podcast before, for someone who had a go at a Sheffield University student who was writing a book on or a project on Formula One, and he replied to her saying, "Oh, your spelling's wrong," and she said, "Well, actually, I'm dyslexic." His notebook is one of the worst spell-checked websites in the history of the internet. He just needs to give it a casual read and go, spelt that wrong, misspelt that. I've written "and" 3 times. Just
Joe
so
Saward is brought to you by Grammarly.
I think that about covers everything, including our arses for the bits that I've cut out where we could get sued.
Good.
Thank you for putting up with us not being around. We will be back more regularly until the end of the season and over the break as well, because I think we're going to have a lot to talk about because it has been the silliest of silly seasons.
Yeah.
And there'll be plenty of stuff to keep us going, and we may even drop some Formula One in there at some point or other. If you want to get in touch, then threelegs4wheels.com. Obviously, we've got the prediction game, which will be live for predictions for the Vegas Grand Prix. That's in the games section. Drop us an email, threelegsfourwheels@gmail.com, and our shiny new spangly Blue Sky location. You can actually go onto Blue Sky and look for threelegsfourwheels.com, and we've got that username on there now. We are all official and everything. And individually on the socials, we are
at Sean Cowper.
At Flood21 on Blue Sky.
I am on Twitter and Blue Sky at. Yeah, I am at Kieran is boring. I couldn't remember.
Are you
I
sure?
couldn't remember what I punched into Blue Sky. I don't remember if I used
And
that.
I'm at Pablo100, and of course it's at Three Legs Four Wheels on Insta and the artist formerly known as X. Right, we will see you hopefully next week. I will try and remain in the country. We will all try and not have flu, and we'll try and shoehorn less tangents. No, we bloody won't. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.